Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. So in the previous video, I looked at Nao, Pito, and Shido's list of top 10 monsters in the game. And then this video here will be my personal picks, and then I agree with all of the picks from the Nao Shido list, except for Beethoven. So this list that I'm making here will be to kind of supplement that. And then Nao, Shido, and Pito, they made a point of not including collaboration characters on their list. So at the end of my 10 list, I'm going to do my 3 favorite collaboration characters that I think deserve to be, next to, at least, the top characters in the game. Okay, but number 10 is Shootinggada. And then Setsuna and Adabuda and Shootinggada, I would say, are the 3 drop monsters that are Hatcher monster worthy. So as I explained in my previous video, those 3 characters, I'll mark them as both Hatcher monsters and max luck monsters. Because, yeah, they can get the luck up, you can get them to max luck, but they're also strong enough that they could replace a slot for a Hatcher monster on your team. But yeah, Shootinggada is very of the moment. She's a Pierce with no wind, no warp, no block, and those are very nice abilities to have on a sling style. Especially on a Hatcher monster. Speed is decent for a Pierce monster. Bump combo, she has the super homing, but more importantly, she has the bomb throw. She was the first character to ever get bomb throw, and people were kind of wondering, how good that would be. It's turned out to be excellent, especially since Solomon Ascension came out. People really discovered the power of this. And then even as a balance type, the bomb throw on Shootinggada is very powerful, and a Hatcher monster level for sure. She is a Transcendent form, so she has the 2 slots out of the gate. I am seriously considering her making a Metal Farmer, especially after I make the max luck of her. Because to be able to do double duty, get the medals for you, and create the max luck, that would be very cool. So yeah, Shootinggada, number 10. Okay, next, number 9 is Satin Alpha. All of the alpha monsters that came out from that summer Hatcher are pretty crazy, but this is one that I knew that I wanted the most, and I've been using him, and he's a lot of fun. He's probably the most fun character on this list, but he's got no null abilities. Instead, he has an 8-turn null everything strike shot. So if you can live with it every other round, you can bring him to almost any quest, regardless of gimmick. And then like those off rounds where you don't have that strike shot, that's also part of the fun, to see if you can get through his turn without killing yourself. But he has a quadruple slayer, water slayer, weak point slayer, Golzetsu slayer, and demon slayer. So yeah, the obvious choice is to bring him to water quests, but you can bring him to off element quests if there are weak points, and then maybe demons in there, which there are a lot. But yeah, he's great in Karuna. I finished the max luck of Karuna with this guy, and then I even used him in Paradox, although I wouldn't recommend it. You can use him in there, and those are lots of fun. I'm currently using him to make the Doom max luck, who will be a lucky monster next week. Bump combo, he has a bunch of single hit homing. If those hit weak points, they do a ton of damage. I used him in Yamato Takeru Kai, and then in there you really need to hit the boss's weak point in order to get the damage in there. The homing did a ton of damage in there, so that was very cool. But yeah, number 9, but number 1 as far as fun in the character. Okay, number 8 is Lancelot X. I kind of debated a little bit in here because Monster Rose is also really, really good. And I really like her character in that Mon Soni anime. But Lancelot X I use more, and I think with his recent buffs, he really became worthy of being a limited character, and then maybe one of the best ones. But he has a bounce with the null gravity barrier and magic circle boost, which is a very nice double null. He has recovery M, and then also Dark Slayer, so he's got a lot of versatility as a support character. And then also he can go to, dark quests in particular. Also good in wood quests. I use this guy to make the max luck of like Darwin, I think, and Scorpica, and I even used him a little bit in Eschatology, and then most recently I used him in Eisenmuir, I think. So yeah, this guy's great. You can use him all over. He has a null everything strike shot where he also becomes a pierce. This is super versatile. One of my favorite strike shots for sure. And then a bump combo is pretty good too, the lock-on one-way laser. No Slayers in there. It's not, you know, he's not a blast type or anything, but still pretty solid. So yeah, Lancelot X, number 8. Okay, number 7 is Kimiko, Transcendent. And then I'm going to pick the Sailor Mars version because I like this artwork better. But yeah, seeing Moses on the Naoshiro list, but not seeing Himiko on there, kind of made me feel weird. So I'm going to put Himiko on here. She's actually not one of my favorite characters to use, because I generally like to bring characters that address the gimmicks of a quest. But she's so good that, like, as a tool, you know, I'll use her. Like, you know, a famous example is level 23 of the Tower of Champions. Even though she doesn't have no warp, just her direct attacks and her bump combo are so strong that she's very usable in there. And then I do like her design, how they did her Transcendent form, because they didn't really change the way that she plays. They just made her stronger in every sense. So like super null damage wall, stronger strike shot, which can now travel through walls, and then stronger bump combo. So yeah, plays pretty much the same, but just better. And yeah, she's very good. Okay, and then in that vein, we have Nightingale Transcendent. She also didn't change too much from her Ascension form, I think it is, but Pierce with no gravity barrier and the Water Slayer. And then a speed and power up strike shot, which lasts throughout the round. So it's like you get 2 strike shots for the price of 1. But they gave her the super null gravity barrier, so she can get the speed up. And then bump combo was also upgraded. So yeah, again, the way you use her is not different, but she's just better in every way, and so she's caught up to the meta. And yeah, I use her a lot. Okay, number 5 is going to be the one dark monster on here, and that is Ducky, Transcendent. I actually kind of debated putting her on this list at all, because dark is a little bit underwhelming. I think Lucifer and then Alice are like shoo-ins, and then if you want to include drop monsters, Adabuda is good too. But then there's kind of a big drop-off. Ducky is great. If you were to start the game and she was the one Hatcher monster you had, you would be in a great place. But these days, for high-level quests, you don't really need her. And then, compared to like Alice or Arthur for like medium to lower-level quests, I would say maybe those two are better. Because the Rampage Laser is powerful, but it's not concentrated enough, I would say. It's not super easy to use, so that's maybe a tiny ding on her. But still, one of my top 10 characters in the game, still. Okay, next is Corsair Transcendent. And this might be a surprise. I think when she was announced fairly recently, most people were underwhelmed. But then they started using her. And then they started using her in quests where she doesn't even have all of the gimmicks, and then people were like, oh, she's really good. But she's kind of similar to her evolution form, bounce with the flight, super null gravity barrier. No gauge, which is nice, that makes her work better with grand command strike shots, and then of course with the super null gravity barrier, more speed from there. And then bump combo, her main bump combo is a super piercing homing, 18, which is very, very good. And then the sub bump combo is the speed up. This is not the speed up S either, this is the full speed up. So that's a very, very nice double bump combo. And then the strike shot is a 16 plus 12 command strike shot. And this is kind of what makes the character. A 16 turn command strike shot is very useful. And then kind of the most famous example of Corsair going outside of her null abilities would be Naudra, the harder version. She doesn't have the null warp in there, but just because her speed up is so useful in there, and then also because her command strike shot is so useful in there, a lot of people say that she's one of the best monsters for that quest, so that's very cool. But yeah, just a very versatile double null, and then just great, everything about her is great. So yeah, that's why she's number 4 on this list. Okay, number 3 is Corsair Transcendence. And yeah, I pulled her very recently, but I wanted her for a very long time. And then she's a Pierce with the double null, the Minesweeper null damage wall. That's my favorite double null, I would say. Because if a character is good enough with that double null, you can bring her to warp or gravity barrier quests and still make use of her like bump combo and strike shot. So she's very good. She also has laser stop, which is one of my favorite abilities. And then bump combo, she has the lock on all pierce wave. So that can hit everybody, and it can also do very good concentrated damage if your positioning is good. And then the delay strike shot, which is one of the more powerful strike shots in the game. Yeah, very versatile, very well-rounded character. Glad I finally have her. Okay, number 2 is Satin Transcendence. You probably saw this one coming, but yeah, I did a review of her, which is kind of unusual for me for a non-limited character. But I think a lot of people are sleeping on her. She also has that very nice double null, the Minesweeper null damage wall with the Pierce. So again, you could bring her to the Warp or Gravity Barrier quests. And then she has the Copy Bump combo, which is one of the most versatile abilities in the game. And then it copies the main bump combo of another character that hits her at full strength. This is kind of not very well known, but bump combos that are set off by blast bump combos only come out at 50% strength. So in that sense, the copy bump combo is going to be better. And yeah, Watson is a good partner with Setsuna, and then they also work well together on level 25 of the Kinky, which you need to play in order to get the appearance of Nayuta. So yeah, just for all-around use, Watson is great. I'm considering making her a metal farmer as well. And then also for high-level quests, like, again, the Kinky, she's pretty great. So that was number 2, Watson. And number 1, you might be able to guess. It is Nono Alpha. And yeah, her too. When I was pulling in the Hatcher, I said maybe she was the best character released this year. I still feel that way. But yeah, very high stats all around. Pierce with a triple null. Null gravity barrier, null damage wall, null block. I think this is a mistake. She's too good. But just like Watapudigisu, she also has the lock-on Pierce Wave 3. Hits everybody. So yeah, she's good for easy quests to just kind of clean up, little guys. She's also good for some floors of the Kinky, some recent Golzetsu quests as well. So yeah, very high usability in all difficulty level quests. And then the strike shot is also very good. This does mega damage in weak points, which is kind of similar to Takemi Kazuchi, who's also included in Naoshiro's list. So yeah, for now, number 1, Nono Alpha. Naopido's top 10 list was made before this Alpha series was released. I could totally believe Nono Alpha being on that list, but since it wasn't, I'm putting it here, so yeah. Okay, so that is my top 10. Finally, we'll look at 3 collaboration Hatcher monsters, which I think are among the best in the game. Okay, first one should be no surprise at all. This is Izuku, or Deck, from My Hero Academia. He kind of breaks the Kinky. If you have him, or if you have enough access to him on your friends list, the difficulty of the Kinky as a whole kind of drops a lot. And he's really helpful for you in getting the get of Setsuna, which you might have seen in my clear of Setsuna. But yeah, I don't regret not pulling this guy because I know he'll be on my friends list. Hopefully I'll be able to get the max luck of Naraku and then the get of Nayuta before Deck disappears from my friends list. But yeah, if you do have him, put him up when the Kinky rolls around, and you'll be a very popular person, I can assure you. Oh, I didn't even talk about what he does, but I think you'll know. Alright, and then the next one, who is kind of similar to Nono Alpha actually, but this is King from the Nanatsu no Taizai collaboration. He's another Pierce with a triple null, flight null, damage wall, null block. And then he does have the weak point Slayer, and then he does have a blast type Rewind Blaster. But those are actually both not so great. I feel like they haven't kind of kept up with the meta. The weak point Slayer, because his base attack is kind of low. But it's the versatility of that triple null, and then the really, really strong strike shot, where he summons the sunflower, and then anybody he hits will get a giant laser from the sunflower, which pierces, which does a bunch of damage. But yeah. They designed King, to be really good in Hold Eye, which is why they gave him this triple null. But it turns out that null block is a very, very major gimmick after Hold Eye. So yeah, just his versatility is through the roof. And he's still good now, but he is maybe the most wanted character of like an old collaboration that people want to have come back. He's that good. So people are really hoping for a part 2 of the Nanatsu no Taizai collaboration. Okay, and then last is Kameena and Shimon from Gurren Lagann. And then these guys are great like all-around characters. I would put them in a similar category to maybe Alice or Arthur. Maybe not great for a lot of high-level quests, but good for basically everything else. But Pierce with no Gravity Barrier, no Warp, that is a super versatile double null sling style combo. No Wind as well, so that's something to keep in mind. But they have the Involute Sphere, one of the best bump combos in the game. Also crazy on them because they are a Pierce. Usually you don't get those good bump combos on Pierce characters, but they got it. And then a very strong kind of a command plus meteor strike shot, where you throw around the sunglasses and explode everybody at the end with your giant drill. I need to watch this anime again, it was pretty good. But yeah, Kamino and Shimon, I have like 8 of them, but yeah, I'm glad to have at least one. Okay, so those were my picks, my top 10 monsters in the game, plus a bonus 3 collab monsters, which people should be happy to have. Let me know in the comments if you think I missed anybody. There's a ton of good monsters in here, so I'd love to hear your opinions on this as well. Okay, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Take care.